Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sarah Labrat and today's writing vlog is going to be about starting Camp NaNoWriMo July and how draft 4 is going, trying to improve draft 4 of my project DE to make it better after receiving my beta feedback on draft 3. Today is currently July 12th, which means that I need to catch you guys up on what's been going on. So July 1st, I started out really strong, really excited about Camp Nano. Good morning to the mountains. Today is July 1st, meaning that I am starting my first writing vlog of Camp NaNoWriMo July right now. I need to clean my kitchen, get myself ready for the day a little bit more. And then in a couple minutes here, we're actually gonna be jumping on Brooke Wright's live stream to do some writing sprints to kick off Camp Nano. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited to get started with a really strong beginning, get this month kicked off, be productive, get ready. Let's do it.
First live stream in your new apartment.
It is.
Yeah, I was like looking at your background. It's so aesthetic. Are those real flowers in the back?
Oh, absolutely not.
That live stream with Brooke started out really strong. I was really excited about July, very excited about my goals for draft 4 until about halfway through the live stream when it kind of settled in how many words a day I would need to do to hit my goal for July. It was over 3,000 words a day at that point, and I think that was a little bit too high. My initial goal for Camp Nano July was to finish the rest of draft 4 of my high fantasy project, which I call Project DE. I was sitting at about 20,000 words. There were 120,000 words in draft 3, meaning that I had about 100,000 words left to revise, edit, and rewrite into draft 4 before I can be done with draft 4, but my goal was to complete all of that in July, which meant that I needed to be averaging about 3,000 words a day in order to hit that. Because halfway through that live stream, I just kind of decided that I wanted to just start something completely new. So while I started draft 4 of my Project DE at 22,113 words in July, I only added 114 words on July 1st before switching over and writing 419 words in a brand new project. And then kind of after writing roughly those 530 words across the two projects, I didn't write any more on July 1st, but I did decide to go drive around in the mountains and do a mini hike. I also got to see some really pretty houses when I was out there and watch a very gorgeous sunset. And then July 2nd came around and I flew back up to Minnesota to spend the 4th of July holiday with my family. My goal was to be productive and do some work on draft 4 on the plane, but there was a slight mix-up. When I got to the airport, I realized that my flight was booked from Dallas to Minnesota and not Utah to Minnesota. So I actually didn't have a flight properly booked. And so after trying to talk to the gate agent and getting my flight switched over, I sat in the airport for 4 hours before my flight later that evening and basically was just so stressed out about the flight change and not originally having a flight from Salt Lake City that I ended up not doing any creative work, and that's totally okay. I did not have the mental capacity to do so. I just wanted to watch a movie on the plane, and then the TV screens on the plane were not functioning and neither was Wi-Fi. And so it was just like a very stressed out mess. And thankfully I had a movie saved on my computer, but like that was so much that I did not write any words on July 2nd. July 3rd was pretty chill in Minnesota. I went out and did some tanning and some paddleboarding on the lake, as well as having to do some work that morning and in the afternoon. But July 3rd was pretty chill and I didn't end up writing anything. To celebrate July 4th, my family had some people over and we spent some time out on the lake doing boating activities and grilling out. I also took some time on July 4th to assess how I did on my 2021 goals in the first 6 months of 2021 and what I want to accomplish still in the upcoming 6 months, which I think was a very productive use of my time. But because there was so much going on with having people over, I did not end up writing anything. July 5th was kind of like an unexpectedly fun day. I ended up hitting 5,000 subscribers on July 5th, which was definitely a surprise and still hasn't settled in that I'm at that number. But again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. My sister made us a surprise charcuterie board as a part of our lunch before one of my friends came over. And then later that evening, my family and I went out on the lake and watched my brother do some surfing. And because of that, July 5th was also a 0-word day. July 6th and 7th, I spent mostly working, and it was rainy and kind of gross in Minnesota, so I spent most of it indoors. But I was enjoying time with family, and both of those days were 0-word days. You might be noticing a trend at this point, but just hang with me. On July 8th, I went and watched Black Widow with my family in a movie theater, which was weird. But I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was really well done. Thought it was very good. Totally forgot that Black Widow is not gonna be in any more of the movies though. So when the post-credit scene happened, I was so confused until I remembered, of course, the last Avengers movie. Kind of amazed that it took them this long to give us her story, but I'm really glad that they finally did. But again, no more work done on DE. And while this first week of July was happening and I was enjoying my time in Minnesota with my family, I was very aware in the back of my head that the word count that I needed to do every single day to reach my goal by the end of July was going up every day that I was not working on this, and so I was getting more and more casually stressed out. But anyways, July 9th. I was ready to come back to Salt Lake City, and so I had my flight, and then I was just doing some things around my apartment. I went grocery shopping, ran some other errands, just kind of doing maintenance things as I was getting back into town, and did not end up working on DE. July 10th, I think there was something with the altitude or the air pollution in the valley or something, but I woke up not feeling good, which is really unfortunate because I was planning to host a live stream as a part of Autumn Ashley's 18-hour write-a-thon, but I ended up having to message her and let her know that I couldn't participate because I was not feeling good. But thankfully I was still able to hop on a couple other people's streams and watch some and then participate in some on screen, although I didn't end up doing any writing as a part of that because work was busy that day. And then yesterday, July 11th, I was really hopeful that I was gonna get to do some work on DE, but I wanted to get a little bit more settled into my apartment first. And the way that I wanted to do that was going through and choosing a place for my bookshelf and starting to set up my bookshelf. However, that also meant that I needed to unpack the book boxes, which did not go as well as I had hoped. Okay. So after I got all of my boxes, I did learn that my books had been somewhat damaged because I think the box broke or something during moving and had been repackaged into 2 boxes. Not on my part, on the mover's part. I already had so many issues with this company that when I saw that my books were damaged, I was very upset and did not want to deal with it until now, which is July 11th, which is almost a full month after I got my stuff. But I finally unpacked the 2 book boxes. Several of my books were damaged. That's not fun. So if you don't want to see any damaged books, I highly recommend skipping through this part and jumping to this timestamp. But for those of you that want to see my pain, I'm going to show you some of the books. I feel the need to emphasize how well I packed my boxes when I packed them in the one box that I assume broke. Every book fit in there perfectly. Like, it was a perfect fit. I played Tetris with it. I repacked that box like several times to make sure that those books did not move because all of my books were in such good condition and I like pride myself on that. So now to have wounded books really hurts. This is a book that I got in a Scribbler box and have not read, but look at all of this like spine damage and the pages are wrinkled. This book fully had a book sitting inside of it. So this is how it wants to rest now. Several of the books were just like squished and are super dirty. This journal that I made in a bookbinding class is just like fully bent open. This one is also just bent. Some more bent and dirty books. Another bent book. This one has a bunch of pages folded in and is really dirty. This book looks like it got wet and almost like it started molding. Just, you know, so fun. This Sarah J. Maas book had a lot of upper corner damage and some more damage down here and fully got stepped on. This Sarah J. Maas book now also has a footprint on the cover. This is probably like the worst one in terms of bendiness. This is how it wants to live now. That is 14 damaged books. That's really not fun, and I don't know if I can include that on the claims form and somehow get reimbursed for the damage that was done to them. On top of my entire move, it's more just like insult to injury. But anyways, now that I have addressed that, and now that I have assessed the damage, I want to better move into my bookshelf and kind of set things up and organize them so that I finally have a bookshelf set up in this apartment. I have these books stacked, trying to flatten them back out, but this is how my bookshelf is currently looking. So that was extremely frustrating. I so did not like that. The fact that I am missing 5 books in total, 4 of them being Sarah J. Maas books, and one of those Sarah J. Maas books being my signed Throne of Glass copy, my signed and personalized Throne of Glass copy. I'm still not over that, still very mad about that. Just like mad. Like, how is it possible to step on 2 books. I don't know. Still mad about that. But I was so exhausted from trying to set up my bookshelf and finding that I ended up not working on DE. So now that I am back in Salt Lake City, I have unboxed the monstrosity that was my books. This morning I had kind of a slow morning, which was really, really nice because this past weekend was really busy with work, but I kind of just took some time to lay in bed and rest. I posted a reel on Instagram and a short on YouTube because while I normally try to post a video on Mondays, because I felt so off a couple days ago, I just totally let myself not post a video today because it was just not in the cards for me. And then I responded to some messages, I did a little bit of work, and then I went to go work out and I went to go try and shop for some apartment decor, and I didn't end up finding anything that I really, really liked. And so I think I need to just be a little bit more settled into my apartment, kind of spend some more time here before I really figure out what exactly it is that I'm looking for in decorations, but I got a good gist of what that store has. I think I just need to know more of what exactly I'm looking for. But basically, all of that being said, today is July 12th. I have not written in the last 11 days. So my goal is to change that today. However, I do think that I am going to change my attack plan for draft 4 and my goals for July. After I posted my mid-year goal check-in video, somebody made a comment that really got me thinking. They said that they treat every day individually, and so they have an ideal word goal for a day, and if they don't get that, that's totally fine, and then they just try to do that same word goal again the next day, and they don't roll over the extra words that are needed. And I really think that that would be a much wiser approach for me than constantly reevaluating the number that just keeps going up of words that I have to do every single day in order for me to finish draft 4 by the end of July, which, by the way, I'm still at 22,000 words, and draft 3 ended at 120,000 words, so I still have about 98,000 more words to go in about 2 weeks. So we are discarding of that plan. And I really think that I just want to be more mindful because I do want to finish draft 4, but I also don't think that I should try to be rushing through draft 4, especially as I'm settling into my new apartment and this new city. I still want to prioritize writing, but I think I've been putting too much pressure on that, which leads me to today. I'm trying to start setting up my routines and my habits, which is also going to include how I want to address draft 4 moving forwards. When I started draft 4, I would do some writing, and then the next day I would start out my writing session with going back and rereading and fixing what I had written the day before. And kind of after I hit 8,000 words, I don't think I did that anymore. And so I honestly think that I'm going to start my writing this evening by making some dinner, pulling up draft 4, and then starting to reread it from the beginning just to make sure that pace is going well, that I was answering things that my beta readers wanted me to address, and just starting to work on really deeply trying to enrich the story and make it a lot better and improving it. And so I'm going to start from chapter 1 and read through kind of however long it takes me to get to the point in the draft where I stopped, and then continue to move forward, and then hopefully go back to that technique where I would write a little bit one day and then go back the next day and reread what I had written the previous day to try and improve my writing. So I think with that, it is time to make dinner and then start my writing session for this evening. I kind of love the word count that I'm sitting at right now. I just got done reading the first 5 pages of draft 4, which is roughly the first chapter, and I'm pretty confident in it, actually. I was kind of impressed reading back through it. I thought I was going to need to change a lot, but in reality, what I ended up changing was more on the sentence level and kind of flow and pacing throughout. But overall, I think the first chapter is pretty solid. It's definitely more significantly solid than the first chapter of draft 3 was. I changed probably the first 4 or 5 chapters, which will slightly change the rest of the story. But I think that this is a much stronger opening than draft 3 was, and rereading it, I liked it a lot. All right, so I ended up doing 2 writing sprints this evening, and I apologize if it's loud. I have my AC and my dishwasher running, but I went from 22,227 words to 22,806 words, which is a difference of 579 words. I got through about 10 and a half single-spaced pages, and I did that in an hour and 40 minutes. So that actually felt really, really good. I definitely think that this was the right move for me to try and move forward and emphasize the time that I spend on draft 4 and my creative projects, instead of focusing so much on the word count and how much the necessary word count was growing every single day. So I am now on page 11 out of 50, and I definitely think that over the next couple of days, as I continue to prioritize time being spent on this instead of the word count, it's really going to put me back into like the proper headspace of working on draft 4. And I think it's going to help me refocus on the fact that I'm not trying to rush to the end. I'm trying to make draft 4 very intentional about improvements to the story, instead of just trying to rush through another draft to say that I've done another draft to theoretically think that I'm closer to publication, when in reality rushing through this draft is not a great idea. However, I am very happy with what I've read so far today. It is now 12:30 in the morning, so I'm not going to do any more tonight, but I'm very, very happy with an hour and 40 minutes. So pretty much after a 10-day dry spell of not writing, I finally got back into draft 4, and it's feeling very good. And then I will see you guys tomorrow for some more work on draft 4. Today is July 13th. It is currently 5:20 p.m. I ended up working for like most of today, which is not normal. I don't normally work like standard 9 to 5 hours for my full-time job. It's normally much more like flexible and piecemeal throughout the day rather than just like a straight set of hours. So I am feeling very pent up in my apartment right now. So I just put on clothes to go hiking. It is currently 100 degrees outside. I don't know if I'm actually gonna go hiking. It feels like the sun is about to set, even though it doesn't set for another like 3.5 hours. So I think I just need to get out of my apartment. If I wanna go hiking, I am dressed to do that. So I think I'm just gonna start driving somewhere. I think I'm gonna angle towards a city that's about 45 minutes from where I am right now, because that's like a really cute like mountain town, and I know that they have coffee shops and restaurants, and they have one of my favorite bookstores on the planet. And so I'm kind of thinking that I'm gonna head in that direction. I'm bringing my computer, so in case I sit down and eat dinner somewhere, or if I wanna, I'm not gonna grab coffee because it's after 5 p.m., but if I wanna sit down somewhere, grab a drink, do some work on DE, I'm bringing my computer so that I can do that. That's kind of what I think I'm wanting right now. And then I don't know how long I'll be out in that direction, or even if that's actually where I'm gonna end up, but I'm gonna try and catch the sunset on my way back. So that's the game plan. Let's go on an adventure. So nobody else is out here, and you're supposed to make loud noises on hikes and stuff to scare away potential wildlife. And so I just keep saying to like empty forest and mountain around me. Oh, there's a bee buzzing behind me. I just keep saying I'm talking loudly so that nature doesn't attack me, and I'm just repeating that over and over. This is what the trail in front of me is looking like right now though. That's cute. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm like allergic to everything up here, but it smells so good and I can't get over that view. So I definitely turned around when I got freaked out, but I did 1.1 miles and 194 feet of elevation gain. And when I say I got freaked out, what I mean is that I wasn't passing anybody else, and it was also getting very quiet, and I just kind of got freaked out because I don't have proper hiking shoes and I don't have bear spray or anything yet. And at that point I was like, okay, I'm cool with half a mile. I'm gonna turn around and go back and it'll be a mile. now back in my apartment. It is now 10:07. I ended up not buying any books from the bookstore. I pretty much just wanted to walk through and see the cat, but the cat was not there. Dolly's bookstore is named after a cat named Dolly, who is normally in the bookstore, but I didn't see her. And then I ended up going to dinner, sat outside, which was beautiful. It was a perfect evening for it. And I pulled out my computer because I wanted to do some work on DE like I had talked about earlier. And I opened my computer and I didn't want to work on it. It was more like I just wanted to close my laptop and just kind of enjoy eating dinner outside in the mountains. And so I just closed my computer, flipped my phone upside down, and just kind of like ate dinner outside pretty much by myself. And I had a very, very pleasant evening. That being said, that means that I have not worked on draft 4 yet tonight, which is totally okay. I was very stressed out after work. Going to the mountains has definitely helped mellow me out. Gorgeous sunset on the drive back too. So overall, very happy with how my evening ended up going. On my way back from the mountains, I did want dessert, and so I stopped by the grocery store and grabbed some strawberries. So now I'm gonna eat some chocolate dipped strawberries while I quick send something out for work, and then it will be time for me to probably make some chamomile tea and just sit down and work on draft 4 for a little bit. Wow, so now it is 12:23 in the morning. I ended up pretty much just reading those 9-ish pages. I only ended up adding about 260 words, which now brings me up to a current total of 23,069 words. It is definitely time for me to make some tea. I think I'm gonna work on this a little bit more, but I did just finish a chapter, so whether or not I do another chapter probably depends on how long it is. But it's also introducing one of my favorite characters, so I feel like I want to, but first I have to make some tea. Oh no. I would love to know why my microwave has a metal rack in it. That seems not smart. I am taking this out. I feel like I need to talk about this mug every single time I bring it out. My mom got this for me one Christmas, and it's still one of my favorite mugs to use, and I sometimes just drink water out of it if I'm not feeling tea, but I love it. Thanks, Mom, if you're watching this. Still use it all the time. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I see you. I just spent another 30 minutes working on rereading what I currently have in draft 4, which brings me up to a total for tonight of an hour and 20 minutes. And in that hour and 20 minutes, I only added 380 words total. But I feel so solid in the first 4 chapters, which is where I'm currently sitting in the manuscript. I stopped on page 23. I'm feeling very good about this. It's a very solid start. And I didn't realize that it had been long enough since I had read this, like a month and a half ago, or whenever it was that I had started draft 4. That would have been like 2 months ago. I started on May 15th. Today is July 13th. I am feeling very solid with the new beginning. That was one of the things that I wanted to prioritize with draft 4, and obviously one of the first things that I needed to address in draft 4 before moving on to the rest of the book. I feel very, very solid in the first 4 chapters now. I really think that the beta reader feedback that I got, I listened to, and I changed and I addressed, and that beta reader feedback helped me come up with the new beginning, which I feel really solid in. So even though I only added 380 words tonight, I felt so good. So this is going really, really well. I'm having a great time. However, it's 1:06 in the morning and I have to get up in the morning to work. But I also am hosting a live stream tomorrow, so that'll be a lot of fun. And I'm hoping to get enough work done so that by the time my live stream starts, I can actually write instead of having to work during writing sprints like I've had to do for the last several writing sprints that I've attended. So with that, on July 13th, I wrote 380 words in an hour and 20 minutes, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Today is July 14th. I have done some work today. I might have to do more work later, but currently it is 4 o'clock and I'm starting a live stream with Brooke Writes. And so the intention is to spend most of my writing sprints actually doing some writing.
Hi vlog.
Just got done with the live stream. I ended up doing about 6 pages and I spent all 4 writing sprints actually working on draft 4 of DE. Feeling very accomplished about that right now. However, I'm getting very hungry and I'm really feeling like I want to go pick up Indian food and then come back and watch Loki. And so I think that's the game plan. I am now back with dinner. I don't think I'm gonna do any more writing this evening, mostly because I just want to sit down and eat my dinner and watch Loki and kind of have a chill evening. But during the live stream that I hosted and got to see some of you guys on, I ended up writing for a total of 1 hour and 5 minutes and started at 23,186 words and got up to 23,368 words. And while that's only a difference of 182 words, I'm very happy with the progress that I made today. Feeling very good about it. I'm feeling very happy with my reset in my mindset towards tackling draft 4 of Project DE. I definitely think that this is one that needs to probably go slower than I was originally anticipating it would go, but I think that I am doing this correctly now with the correct mindset, which is awesome. And so I'm very happy that I've been able to reframe that again to progress is progress. It's much more about the time and energy and enjoyment that I have with this process than it is about the outcome. Granted, it would be great to finish writing this book, but I'm very happy with what I'm doing right now. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a big thumbs up because it really supports my channel by telling the YouTube algorithm that you liked my video and that someone else might too. If this is the first video of mine that you are finding and you enjoyed it and you want to see more like it from me, make sure you scroll down below, hit that big red subscribe button and that little notification bell next to it because I post writing videos twice a week and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!